Hey YouTube, coming at you with a Master League team from JE, who is a member of this channel, and I haven't actually talked about memberships in a while now, mostly because there has been a lot of members actually submitting videos. I created memberships. It's basically like Patreon, where you can kind of support me, and I did it through YouTube because it's just easier to coordinate everything there. And with it, you get I'll prioritize your videos to analyze when they come in. And then there's also a Discord secret members chat. So like when I hit my legend team last year, I dropped that legend team in there days before I put it out to the world. So just kind of easier access and behind the scenes sort of information. And then there's different levels if you want to like add me in the game and stuff. So they came at me with a crowned sword, Zacian, a black kyurem, and a therian landorus. And right at the bat, I just kind of immediately laughed like, okay, so we got a new crowned sword, Zacian, which not a lot of people have with the Legacy Behemoth Blade, and we have a Black Kyurem, which is tough to get with the Legacy Freeze Shock, and we have a Therian Landorus with the Legacy Sansir Storm, all level 50s, all hundos. I'm just like, oh wait, no wonder I haven't played in this in like 15 seasons. Huge rate up. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but basically they said, I use PV Poke to create a balanced team using the team builder function. Zacian really only has significant losses against fires and grounds, which Lando and Kyurem both counter well, especially threatening in Lando's Stone Edge versus Ho-Ho. I really plan to use Lando as the safe swap and then Kyurem as the closer, but switch Lando into fires or grounds likely means they will switch out. Switching into Kyurem means a lower chance that I will need to spend shields to get switched back. So Kyurem kind of took over. They went over the huge battle plan. I'm not gonna read it all, but I think the only thing that I will mention is they said, this is the first time I've used Zacian. I took a lot of moves I probably should have shielded as I was trying to see how much damage they did. Its bulkiness honestly surprised me, so I'm glad I did it most of the time. And I always do that, especially earlier in the season. If you watch this channel for a while, whenever I'm testing out a new Pokemon, I want to know how much damage it can take, because that will influence how I shield or not shield and play with it in the future. So I actually do not mind that strategy at all. Obviously, I'm a little out of my element here because I do not play Master League anymore, but let's see all this in action. We have a Zacian, which is half steel against a fairy. Now, I know that this thing has access to close combat, but that would only be neutral on a fairy steel. So there's a close combat. It is neutral. They get into Landorus. It is a flying electric, so coming in with your Kyurem. Electric is dragon resist electric for sure. Gonna shield up a focus blast, not knowing, or maybe you knew what the other move was. I did not know. Getting to the fusion bolt. Fusion bolt is quicker to get to. They are half flying, so that is neutral and takes them out. Dialga in the back. Going free shock. It is also neutral on the half dragon, half steel. Let's see how much damage a free shock does. Holy crap. That does an insane amount. Wow. I was actually shocked at how much damage that did. Holy smokes. Basically taking out the Dialga there. Fusion bullets. Jeez, no wonder how scary this thing is for coming in with Behemoth Blade. This will one shot, so do grab the second shield. At this point, wow. And the spam on this, I mean, it is 16 to get to for what otherwise is a nuke here. Although as much of a nuke as you can be in the Master League. So that goes out there. And take that down. Okay, looks like we have Zacian versus Zeta. So we have both crown and sword shields here. Both fast moves are being resisted. Looks like an Ice Fang on their end, and it looks like the Metal Claw on your end. I mean, it's not. Looks like it is the Metal Claw on your end. They get to move. It is the Behemoth Bash that does good chip damage. Going to go back-to-back close combats here. So they are half steel. That is super effective. Does not quite take out, so I'm going to have to launch the second one here. And then they do commit a shield and then instant swapping. I was almost a little surprised that you didn't just try to just go down instead of coming in. Like, they're pretty low. You maybe could have grabbed a shield or force them to throw. But end up shielding. Out comes Groudon. Obviously has a free shock, so this will do a ton of damage. They do shield. Probably trying to get to the Precipice Blades here. They will throw it. We will shield. And now I assume they're just going to outpace here in one shot. So going for the free shock. This should one shot. It does. Out comes a Ho in the back. We do have a Stone Edge, which would be double super effective. And again, not the best timing, but timing enough to get this off to one shot because they are double weak to fire. Double weak to rock. So that's a one shot. They safe swap. So safe swap into Gyarados, and I was a little surprised at how slow this. They're a waterfall Gyarados, and you are black Kyurem that is a dragon, which resists waterfall. So I would a quicker one there, especially when I have Fusion Bolt here. Fusion Bolt will be double super effective on flying water. So this will one shot. So they do shield, maybe trying to get to a crunch. Yeah, so just going to take that, and holy smokes, this is... Don't worry, you can just use non-legendary Pokemon. No, you can't. As you can see here, just Florges and your Gyarados just getting absolutely ripped to shreds between Zacian and Kyurem here. Kyurem just putting in such heavy lifting. They're trying to Fairy Wind down. That's not going to work. They're going to have to dump energy. At that point, fine. Just come in with Zacian ahead on shields here. They get out, switch, and there's their first legendary. But unfortunately, it is double weak to rock. End up looks like a CMP tie. So we'll grab a shield here, most likely. I assume you're just going to double shield back because you really don't need to worry about Zacian on the other matchup there. They do go Sacred Fire. You do have one more shield you're probably going to need to use here. Nope. You do not. So get to the move. Only 14 to a Stone Edge here, so Mud Shot still pretty quick charging. This game is over. You can just let this go. Wow. And this will one shot into Oblivion from probably full health. Never mind the red. Kyogre. So Kyogre's going to be tough here. And it's not like you have an amazing answer in the back here. So this is going to be already a super, super tough matchup. You got Zemazetta, which is doing super effective with the Metal Claws. They're going to get to a move and likely grab a shield here. Maybe going to shield back. To do what, though? Your Landorus is going to have problems with Kyogre. And so is your Zacian. So maybe trying to... burning a second shield here. Maybe just trying to get two back. But they unfortunately just for you let that go. And where do you go from here when they come in? So they come in with their own Zacian, eventually getting out to their Kyogre. So just trying to get a couple Sandsteer Storms off to chip before Kyurem has to try and take that out. And then you have a mirror match behind Von Shields. This is no good. No good at all. I do not see how you get out of this matchup. They do shield once. Maybe if they double shield here. So they do commit the second shield. Water's resisted, so I don't know what they're doing here. So it says super effective is not. They diss both instant swap. Close combat does not one shot. And if they close combat, then maybe you can close combat them out. No, so they just go Behemoth Blade. That is neutral, right? Because you are half fairy. And you're going close combat. Behemoth Blade seemed to do a lot. Are we worried that it would not take out? Because I think it would have taken out. Would it not have? And then you go down there. Okay, so you made it closer than I thought you would, but... yeah, it's tough with these moves. I actually don't know how much how much does a Behemoth Blade do? I keep talking like it's going to do more damage, but I'm actually not positive. Okay, mirror match. So both moves are neutral, right? Yeah. So the Behemoth Blade, lower in the damage per energy, but more in the damage. So 45 for 100 for close combat, 55 for 120 for Behemoth Blade. So I think, yeah, you just maybe throw the Behemoth Blade in that other one, and you probably would have taken it out, and maybe... could have taken that, but they come in Palkia. You are again down 2 shields. You're going down 2 shields very early in these matchups, which makes it very difficult to come back in a lot of cases here. Can we get to the move? We cannot. That is rough. Zacian does have a ton of energy, so let's see if we grab any of the shields or take out here. They do let it go. throwing blind into Landorus, which resists the close combat, so that's unfortunate. They do shield, which is nice. Zacian comes in to just get, get farmed down close. They do get to move. That move is close combat. That will one-shot, so yeah, no shot here. They have energy for Landorus here. And this should do the rest of the damage that needs to be done. Yeah, I would have tried to not go down 2 shields so early in some of these scenarios. Necrozma. You gate out. Shadow Claw is super effective. They eventually get out into Tapu Bulu is a grass. Why are we throwing electric when it is a grass? Are we baiting? Just assuming that they're going to shield? I think maybe they did shield. Shadow Claw is neutral. You let the move go. It is super effective. Now go to the free shock. So how long have you been a member of this channel? I always say in those scenarios, you could have grabbed that second shield before they even threw a move at you. So I know you're trying to like maybe get extra energy here, but I'm actually very surprised you are not getting the extra energy, the second shield before they like take you out there. Eventually getting alignment, Zacian on their Tyrannosaur and Landorus on their Necrozma. Gonna shield up a Sunsteel Strike. Getting to the Sandseer Storm does lower the attack. Yep. And can we get to move? We do. This will take out. It is super effective on the steel, so this should one-shot. And you are super effective on the rock here with the Sandseer Storm as well. So this will put it pretty low, if not out. Maybe pretty low. Yeah, it is the Master League. Zacian comes back in to take whatever move. I don't really think it matters no matter what the move is. Stone Edge resisted. Just for the farm down, for the win. Zygarde. So, looks like a Dragon fast move, so those are resisted. You're going to take a first move. It is what? Bulldoze. Super effective, but Bulldoze in itself is not a good move. What are we going to do here? Go for the Behemoth Blade. I assume this will be nowhere near enough. Not even close. So you're going to need a second one here. They're going to get to a second Bulldoze. Your defense is already lowered once. So here comes a second lowered. And they eventually get into Ho. And coming in with Kyurem. Kyurem is half ice, so these Incinerates are neutral. You do have a Fusion Bolt, which only takes 12 to get to, so that's pretty quick to get to a super effective move on a Shadow Ho-Oh at that. So going for the Fusion Bolt, this should take out. They do shield. So here comes the second one. Is it Shadow or is it the... Yeah, it's Shadow. So it is Shadow. Do grab the second shield. At this point, what are you going to do? Gonna let this go. Sacred Fire does land neutral. My only concern is they're going to get to another move anyways here. And you're going to have to burn that shield. Oh no, I guess not. I guess 14 before they get to the 15. So this will take out. Have a shield. Zygarde comes back in and you're just going to snipe it. With the Behemoth Blade, this should take out from this range. What's on the back? Their own Zacian, but not crowned. So it is just straight fairy, which means this Behemoth Blade is super effective, which means this should one-shot. Yep. So Palkia here, I guess you just play it out because you're Fairy Steel, so Dragon very resisted. They get out into Landorus. Gonna come in with Kyurem. So this is still going to be kind of interesting. This thing will out-spam you. And gonna shield up a Stone Edge. Probably just go Fusion Bolt here, even though it's just neutral. Is it neutral or is it actually single resisted? Single resisted, because ground, yeah, because ground double resist, and you can just think about the Swamperts that single resist electric even though they're water, right? So having to burn both shields there. Palkia comes back in. It is half water, half dragon. So these are neutral, but this is... you should spam enough of these to put some pressure on. Out in the back is Ho-Ho, so here comes a Fusion Bolt. This will likely grab a shield. And you should get to one more here. And you do. Really putting the pressure on. But what do you do now? I mean, they're already at 80, so they're going to have to throw here. Aggressive farm down is not smart. No, that's not smart at all. So not only are they way over 100 energy, they now get hit with the Fusion Bolt and basically get taken out. Going to just sacrifice Landorus here. Kind of a weird play on their end. What I was going to say that I started talking about there is like, I kind of talked about it in the analysis of the Zacian and the Zamazenta Crown Sword and Shield Pokemon of how the evolution, obviously it's just the evolution of Master League and of all these like new Pokemon that come out and legacy moves and everything, but to go from like just a standard roster of like Ho and Groudon and Kyogre and Mewtwo to then get the what came first? I think the Necrozmas came first. To then go with the Necrozmas, to then get the black and white Kyurems, to then get these Crown Sword and Shield Zacian. I mean, there's the argument that like if you started playing in the past couple of years and you just focused on Master League for these Pokemon that came out, you would have a very dominant roster with like those three that I just named: Necrozma, Kyurems, and Zacian and Zamazenta here. So I guess that from a perspective of if you have the ability to grind and get the XL candies and these hundos and stuff, you have a pretty good odds of being able to compete in this league. But again, it seems like we have seen a ton of Zacians and Zamazettas, a ton of Kyurems, a ton of Ho-Hos, a ton of Landorus. We haven't seen a Mewtwo. We've seen one Groudon, one Kyogre. Trying to think of what else was like back in the day relevant. It just seems like the roster of Pokemon here has tightened up quite a bit here. And it's with those newer Pokemon that just seem very sort of overpowered in the Master League. So throwing a resisted, yeah. Behemoth Blade is resisted because they are half water. It is this fighting water Pokemon, which is kind of interesting. Aqua Jet going for the close combat. They catch on their Zacian. So nice catch. Trying to get out. You have a Sansear Storm, but they could commit to the farm down. Although they threw a water type move last time, and that's resisted on the Kyurem. So, although you don't have much left here, do you? No, you're only in the red. Oh, no, sorry. On the Kyurem, you're not Kyurem, you're Zacian. So Aqua Jet is neutral. Melmetal. I didn't think anyone used Melmetal. I did remember Melmetal was the OG. Oh, Dialga. We saw a couple Dialgas, but so maybe this double Iron Bash here, which is neutral. You are half fairy. Obviously trying to get to multiple close combats here. Here comes the first one. Will be super effective. Let's see if you go back to back here. They do shield. So your defense is significantly fallen. So if you let this go, it's going to hurt a lot. Enough to live, which is nice. Getting to the second one, I'm guessing Landorus safe swap after this. Nope, they just let it go. So you were going to go Landorus. You still kind of do blind. It is a Yveltal, but obviously the Stonage is what makes this Pokemon so strong. Just great coverage. Mudshot, Sandstorm Storm, great move at the fast pacing, but just having that coverage for these Yveltals, and Yveltal's another one that was super meta for a little bit there. But I guess maybe not so much anymore. But for these flyers, Primarina in the back. You are a Dragon on Kyurem, so this could get... Well, you get to these moves pretty quickly, but these are obviously adding up real fast, these charms. They're likely to shield just to put more charm pressure on, and that I think is smart. Because these charms are really starting to add up here. So you're going to have to throw here, leaving you with not much health left. Deep, deep, deep red for the Yveltal to come back in and sucker punch you down. Yeah, that's I mean, it's tough to like plan for it's tough to plan for Charmers. It's tough to I feel like Ultra League and Master League, you almost never would plan for Charmer. In the Great League, you used to have to maybe be like, oh, Wiggly and maybe Doxbun could show up once in a while here. So I got to have that at the back of my mind if I have like a fairy weakness. I may need to worry about that. I feel like in Ultra League Master League, it's probably like the main fairies are Zacian and Florges and maybe one other, but those aren't charmers, right? So the fact that you actually get hit with the charmers is actually quite rare in the Master League. So thank you for this mission. Thank you for the big write-up. Yeah, I think the only thing I would say is, like, I don't love how you went down 2 shields early in some of these scenarios, and I don't like how you go down shields when you could force shields on them, like force them to make decisions. I think there is, like, over farming and having energy is important for sure, and a lot of the best legends do that, but at the same time you need to make sure that you are putting some pressure on them and not letting them, because if you like let them fire off multiple moves and grab multiple shields from you, you really give them the advantage of figuring out how they want to 2-shield the rest of the game, which could make it very difficult for you. But yeah, thanks for this mission. So thank you for those of you. I appreciate those of you who are still watching these this week of Ultra League and Master League. I know it's not as many as normal, but we will get back into the Great League next week. I already have a bunch of Great Leagues from earlier in the season submitted and one of my own. So right off the bat, we're going to have definitely 2 a day for the first few days here. And yeah, it is a community day this weekend. I believe the community day is, just let me check, I think it's Saturday, which is unfortunate because I am busy that day. But if it's Saturday, we will do the community day analysis on Friday. If it's Sunday, we will do it on Saturday. And the winner is Jangmo-O on Saturday. Of course it is. So Saturday the 21st. So I guess tomorrow afternoon, we will be doing the Jangmo-O Evolve Hackmo to get Como that learns clanging scales. So we'll do the analysis of that in the Great League, Ultra League, and Master League to see if you need it. So check out that tomorrow. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.